Every time I sit down to film these, I'm like, alright, I'm gonna do it, like it's gonna be fine. And then I sit down to do it and I'm like, okay, this is why I never actually film them, because I'm awful and I'm awkward. Intro, say an intro. Hello! I'm not Miranda Sings. Guys, it's Tana Mojo. Why am I like this? I always have you guys send me questions to answer, and I'm like, hey, gonna film a Q&A, and then you send me questions, and then I either film it and that's all, I don't edit it or upload it, or two, I don't do anything and I just end up deleting the questions after a few months because I'm like, oh, didn't film that. I thought I would finally get my shit together and answer some questions that you sent. And if you're watching this, I got my shit together enough to post it. I got all these on Tumblr, by the way. Do you ever get insecure when writing songs? All the time. I do get really insecure when writing songs. And you know, whether it's because it's like a really personal song or if it's because I like it for a little bit and then I'm like, okay, like maybe this isn't good, like what if not everyone likes it, like there's so many better songs out there, why would anyone listen to this? There's like a bunch of different like scenarios of why I kind of get insecure when writing songs, but I definitely do. How do you write songs? It's different every time. It kind of depends on the song. Sometimes I'll get like a melody and I just kind of fill it with like random like do's and das and las, like la 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 da da da, stuff like that, or like really random words, and I'll just like record it into my phone. Or sometimes I'll get lyrics first. Sometimes I'll just be messing around on the guitar. It all really depends on the song. Do you ever feel nervous you'll hurt someone's feelings when you release a song? Yes. Not all the time, because like a lot of the time I'm kind of like, okay, like they didn't have a problem hurting me, like I shouldn't feel guilty about writing about my experiences, and like something that my therapist has told me, because I always feel guilty for everything, even if it's like something that's not in my power. And she was like, it's okay to like let yourself like be proud and like be happy for things. She was like, you don't always have to feel guilty. And so I kind of think about that like in terms to my songs, but specifically I have a song that's literally called I Hope This Doesn't Hurt You. I wrote it because the song is kind of like a confession of me saying how I felt about the entire thing, and I never like actually told him, I just wrote a song about it. And it's called I Hope This Doesn't Hurt You because although literally everything that I wrote in the song was true, I was still scared that somehow it'd be flipped around and he would be like, you hurt me, or something like that. Because my intentions when writing songs are never to hurt people. It's because I'm feeling something that I need to get off my chest, or I need to talk about, or because I think it might help other people, or because simply for the fact that like maybe I couldn't tell it to the person it's about and I still need to say it, you know what I mean? I never have ill intentions when writing and posting a song. What type of anxiety do you have and how do you cope with it? What type of anxiety do I have? Severe? I don't know, honestly. Like when I was diagnosed in middle school, in like 6th grade, they just said like you have severe anxiety and depression, and obviously like my depression has been at bay for a while now. My anxiety is still very, very severe and something I deal with. Sorry I keep playing with my hair. I never know what to do because there's so much hair on my head. I used to cope with anxiety in very unhealthy ways, and I still do like some unhealthy ways. Like they're not as like, unhealthy, but like I do things like pick at my nails. Like my thumbs are kind of like ripped up because I do this. And I bite my nails a lot, but I haven't been biting them because I had acrylics, but I was anxious yesterday, and so I ripped off all my acrylic nails. I've picked at my head, and like it'll create like little scabs, and like I just pick at the scabs, and like I've gotten little bald spots. And like I've done little stuff like that. But what I've noticed for me with anxiety is I need to like keep my hands busy, and so that's kind of where I'll turn to music, guitar, piano, because it keeps me really busy and it keeps me busy with my hands. And I've been really into piano lately. I used to doodle a lot, whether it be like song lyrics or like names of TV shows or anything like that. I would just doodle with a notebook and a pen because I love a good pen. So I think just like writing with like a really satisfying pen was just like soothing for me. Anything like that. And I've been really into podcasts before bed, and because I get anxious a lot before bed, and I'm not really sure why, but those have been calming me down and helping me go to sleep. So yeah, those are some of my coping things. Really, my coping is music. And it has been for a really long time. And I feel like once you find something that makes you really happy, it kind of makes anxiety and depression easier to cope with. Do you start with the verse, chorus, or the bridge first when you write? It really depends. I don't think I've ever started with a bridge of a song though. I've started with like, I've written a chunk of a song and I'm like, okay, like this is the first verse, but then it ended up being the chorus, or maybe it ended up being the second verse. It all really depends. Sometimes I'll start songs from like the very first line of the first verse, but it doesn't always happen like that. And like something that I've noticed that's kind of hard is like if I write a verse and I think it's a first verse, but then I'm like, no, like it's actually a second verse, then it's kind of harder for me to like start from the beginning and work up to that point. But sometimes it can also make it a lot easier. My process really varies. Did you decide how many songs are going to be on the EP when you released? Would you ever do a full album afterwards? I have not decided how many songs would be on the EP yet. I do have an idea for the EP name. I know 3 songs for sure that I want to be on the EP. It's just, I feel like I don't have like that solid group of songs that I want to be on an EP. I want it to be 5 or 6 songs, and I want them all to be songs that like lyrically I'm very, very proud of. And I know like obviously a melody is an important thing, but for me lyrics are kind of my favorite, so I want to be very, very proud of them. And I just feel like I just don't have that perfect group yet. But afterwards, I would love to do a full-length album. Yeah, that's definitely something that I would be into. What is the story behind I Watched You Choose Her? What's your favorite lyrics? I was singing with this guy, and every time things would kind of fall apart, it would be because he was going back to his ex. And every time I was just kind of sitting there like, okay, cool. And then like he would come back around, he would like make it seem like it was my fault that like things ended, or like we stopped talking and stuff like that. And I'm like, but it wasn't my fault, but like I would still take the blame for it. It's pretty word for word in the story. And the whole concept of I Watched You Choose Her is literally because like every time that like we fell apart, it felt like it was all happening in slow motion. Like I watched every single thing that was happening, and it always ended up being like him choosing the same girl over me again. So favorite lyrics from that song? Give me like a hot sec. I'm gonna give you a few because I don't, because as a whole I think lyrically that's one of the songs that I'm most proud of. But I really like the first line, I knew that the first time would be the last time, but that doesn't change that it hurts. And in the chorus I like, you took the best of me every time you left and then hated me for what I became. Fuck, what's the second verse? You forget the lyrics to your own song. I gave you all that I could give, but you still wanted more. I put my heart into your hands, but then you turn around and say, what's this for? Glad that you asked about that one because that's one of my favorites. Do you want to transfer to a university like Michigan State or something for next year? Since this is your last year, you can be at a 2-year community college. Community college that I go to, or not this semester, I'm not going to. It's not like a 2-year community college. You can like take classes whenever. And when I was taking classes, I was never on a set plan. So I was just kind of taking classes and getting like prereqs out of the way and stuff like that, and just figuring out what I wanted to do. I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do. That's kind of why instead of like taking classes again this semester, I need to try to like think stuff through and get my shit together basically. But in the fall, I definitely want to go back and take some classes. Yeah. I'm not gonna transfer to a university unless I know exactly what I want to do, because I feel like that'd be a waste of money for me to like go if I wasn't entirely sure. You know what I mean? What's your favorite thing about writing a song? I love everything about it, even though sometimes it's so stressful and I don't know what to do or like what to say. I still love everything about it. I think one of my favorite things though, it might be my most favorite thing, is that feeling you get after you finish a song. It makes me so happy thinking about it. That feeling you get after you finish one and you're like, you feel like you can breathe because you got like all of that off your chest, and like you're like, I just finished something. Like it's a piece of art, and like you're just kind of like, wow, like I did that. And for me, it's just that feeling of like, I feel so much relief after writing a song, and I feel like I can breathe. Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing about writing songs. Do you think Taylor Swift is going to release a new album? I pray to God every day that Taylor Swift will release a new album. Taylor Swift, I'm ready. give me TS6 or give me death. It's kind of the same thing though, because I can guarantee her 6th album will kill me. Do you have a boyfriend? No, I've never had a boyfriend. Yeah, I don't. I mean, unless Shawn Mendes is like watching this, like, hey, you want to get married? I found out that he watches Grey's Anatomy, and I was like, I love you even more than I already did. So like, if any of you know Shawn Mendes, like, hit him up for me. I hate this next question. Have you kissed anyone yet? Here's the thing. No, I don't care. Very often I get like messages like, you're 20 or whatever, and like, you've never kissed anyone, and I'm like, it's not that deep. I just feel like it's just like a kiss. Like, it really doesn't bother me that much. It really used to, but like now, like, I don't care. And it's a very frequent topic of discussion for people to kind of bring that up, but I just see it as like, kissing someone is not something like you have to do, you know what I mean? And like, people experience different parts of life at different paces, and like, who cares? Who cares? Raise your hand if you care. I don't care. It just makes me mad when like people try to like use it as an insult to make me feel bad, and I'm like, it's not working. Next! I've seen you post about how your parents are Republican and mine are too. How do you deal with it? I don't. I give them shit for it. Not to like hate on Republicans or anything, but what the fuck? My parents are Trump supporters, and I hate it. And they know I hate it, and Teresa hates it. And we give them shit for it. I don't take it because I think it's ridiculous. And they watch Fox News. My mom watches Fox News. She gets mad at me for using CNN. I'm like, Mom, you use Fox as your source of news. They're always like, no political talk in the house, and then they bring it up, so like Teresa and I will respond, and then they're like, we can't ever say anything in this house, not everything has to be politically correct. And then I'm like, you brought it up. If you support Donald Trump, like, feel free to, I don't know, block me. Hi, I've always wanted to know if whether you do a cover on the piano, do you watch a tutorial thing or do you make up some chords? I don't watch like tutorial things on YouTube like for piano because I'm not good at piano, which is why I just look up the chords on ultimateguitar.com, the basic. Honestly, would it be a Liz video if like I didn't burp in it? I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm not good at piano, so I just play like the very like basic chords. And I'm just like, okay, good enough, like it gets the point across. Yeah, that was the last question. Thanks for sending stuff in and for making it through the whole thing. I don't know how long it's gonna be. Yup. So if you have any more questions, or if you have a question about one of the questions I got, feel free to like leave it in the comments, or like tweet me, or like Tumblr, or whatever you have is fine, and I will be happy to answer them. And if you want like another Q&A, or if you just have like any like video ideas, hit your girl up, because I want to post on this more. I think it's fun. Every time I look at the camera, I just see this pimple, and it's like staring me in the eyes. And if you have cover suggestions, feel free to like leave those too, or tweet them, like whatever is good. And yeah, I also want to do a video where I like to like a haul of the clothes that I got from Carly's collection when I went to St. Louis, and some other stuff I got from the collection. So if you'd be interested in that, let me know. I might just film it anyway, because like, why not? I appreciate you. I never know how to end videos. I do one behind and then one in front. Oh my god, that's like the Hannah Montana episode when she was like, okay, behind the ear and front, or like both, or like both in front. Oh no, Lily was like, okay, behind the ear and front of, and then Miley was like, or maybe it was Lily, and she was like, one behind, one over, booyah, or something like that. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know. Bye.